Hello and welcome. Today, we will cover tutorial how to build Wi-Fi vouchers internet access for hotel using OPNsense with old PC computer. In this scenario, there will be two different vouchers which are 24 hours duration vouchers for hotel guest room and 4 hours vouchers duration for guest at bar, resto and swimming pool. We will also made some number of employees credential as well to access Wi-Fi internet. In addition, we will cover tutorial how to configure Let's Encrypt for free SSL in order to make Wi-Fi login page working perfectly. The SSL certificate will work for local only. We are not going to make SSL exposed to outside local LAN. Please keep in mind that we definitely need domain name to do that. The PC router will need at least 3 LAN ports, which are LAN 0 for ISP, LAN 1 for local remote administration, and LAN 2 to serve Wi-Fi voucher internet access.
Selamat datang di video tutorial kali ini. Kali ini kita akan membuat Wi-Fi voucher internet untuk hotel menggunakan PC komputer dengan software OPNsense. Kita akan membuat dua jenis voucher yaitu voucher berdurasi 24 jam untuk para tamu di kamar hotel dan voucher berdurasi 4 jam untuk tamu hotel di bar, resto, dan kolam renang. Selain itu kita juga akan membuat login akses dengan durasi tak terbatas untuk para karyawan hotel. Untuk keamanan, kita juga akan melakukan instalasi Let's Encrypt Free SSL Certificate agar halaman login Wi-Fi terenkripsi dengan sempurna. Untuk itu kita perlu untuk mempunyai atau membeli domain name. Alamat halaman login tersebut hanya akan berjalan di lokal LAN dan tidak akan diekspos keluar publik. PC komputer yang akan kita gunakan perlu memiliki paling tidak 3 buah port LAN, yang terdiri dari port LAN 0 untuk WAN atau ISP, kemudian port LAN 1 untuk remote admin dan port LAN 2 untuk melayani Wi-Fi voucher internet access.
For software specification, we are going to use OPNsense since it was open source and well maintained by their community. It has all of applications we need such as firewall, captive portal, router, and voucher generator, all in one package. Many hotels choose to use OPNsense are because of the ease of operate and managing vouchers. No need to hire dedicated IT staff. It can done by any of front desk staff with basic knowledge of computer. Based on my production experience for hotels, OPNsense is favorable because of its stability, reliability, and ease to operate.
Untuk spesifikasi software, kita akan menggunakan OPNsense. Selain gratis alias open source, OPNsense juga didukung oleh komunitas yang luas dan update yang rutin. OPNsense juga mempunyai aplikasi pendukung yang kita perlukan seluruhnya dalam satu kesatuan paket seperti firewall, captive portal, router, voucher generator, voucher monitoring, dan network monitoring. Berdasarkan pengalaman produksi, OPNsense banyak diminati oleh pengusaha hotel karena 3 faktor utama, yaitu hemat biaya software karena gratis, sistem yang stabil alias dapat diandalkan dan kemudahan memanage vouchers tanpa harus memiliki karyawan khusus IT. Staf front desk yang hanya memiliki pengetahuan komputer dasar dapat mengoperasikan pengaturan voucher Wi-Fi dengan mudah.
About the hardware specification, we are going to use old PC computer, which has Core i3 processor, 8 GB of RAM, 128 GB of SSD for OPNsense system, and an additional dual LAN PCIe card that has Intel chip on it. And the last thing, we need at least 16 GB USB stick memory for OPNsense installation media. Based on my experience, these hardware specification can handle all the task jobs we need to work properly.
Untuk spesifikasi hardware, PC komputer yang akan kita gunakan paling tidak mempunyai prosesor Intel Core i3, memori RAM 8 GB, SSD storage 128 GB untuk sistem operasi OPNsense dan 1 buah PCI card yang memiliki paling tidak 2 port LAN network. Kita perlu memastikan bahwa PCI card tersebut menggunakan chip Intel di dalamnya, di mana chip Intel termasuk dalam daftar hardware yang didukung oleh OPNsense. Selain itu, kita juga membutuhkan paling tidak 16 GB USB memory stick untuk media instalasi sistem operasi OPNsense. Perlu juga dipahami, PC komputer yang akan kita gunakan merupakan PC komputer branded, semisal merek HP, Lenovo, Dell dan lain sejenisnya. Hal ini karena hampir semua PC komputer branded mempunyai fitur auto power on di mana PC komputer otomatis akan menyala setelah pemadaman listrik dari PLN selesai. Ini diperlukan bagi lokasi usaha yang tidak memiliki generator pembangkit listrik cadangan. Maka itu semaksimal mungkin kita menghindari menggunakan PC komputer rakitan mengingat fitur auto power on jarang sekali terdapat pada PC komputer rakitan. Berdasarkan pengalaman produksi, spesifikasi ini lebih dari cukup untuk beroperasi dengan sempurna melayani kebutuhan hotel dengan jumlah maksimal 50 kamar.
First, we need to prepare one USB stick memory which at least 16 gigabytes capacity. Then, we go to OPNsense web to download it. Click Download. You can choose the download server location as near as possible from you. Then click Download again, save it on the folder as you wish and wait until download complete. After download complete in the folder, we going to use Rufus software to make USB stick installer. Then we click, select, and point it to the file we already download in the folder. Then we click Start to make USB stick installer, and wait until the process finished. After finished, we close the Rufus software and eject the USB stick from the PC. Then we put the USB stick installer into the target PC to start the installation. Plug in the internet source cable to the port LAN 0. Plug the keyboard USB cable into the desired USB port. Plug the VGA monitor cable in. Plug the power cable in. Now, power up the target PC to start the installation. In order to install the OPNsense on the SSD, on the login prompt type installer, and type OPNsense on the password prompt. Select the keyboard layout as your desire. Choose Install ZFS since our SSD that we going to use has more than 16 gigabytes capacity. We going to use Stripe disk, since we don't need any redundancy. Choose the target SSD disk that we are going to install by pressing spacebar on the keyboard and press OK. Click Yes to confirm. Chose complete install to exit and reboot, then click OK. Enter the boot menu and select to boot from the SSD disk. At the login prompt, type root and at the password prompt type OPNsense. These interface LAN port are mismatch. We need to change it as we desire. Type 1 on option prompt, then type N on lags and VLAN configuration prompt. Enter WAN interface, in my case it would be EM0. Enter the LAN interface, in my case is IGB0. TI, Y, to proceed. Now the installation on the new OPNsense PC are finished. Configuration can be done via Web Administrator. To access the Web Administrator, we need a laptop computer connected via LAN cable to port 1 on the OPNsense PC. Now we are on the laptop computer. Out of the box, OPNsense are ready to server internet access for the LAN users. Let's try to browsing some page. Now, let's access the Web GUI OPNsense Administrator to made some configuration. As we can see, this page is not secure because we didn't put any SSL certificate yet. We will cover this later in this tutorial. Click Advance, and click Proceed. Click Login. Click Lobby on upper left side of the page and click Dashboard. Since my ISP provided IPv4 DHCP only, we need to disable the IPv6 on the WAN interface. Click Interface on the left menu of the page, then click WAN. On the option of IPv6 configuration type, choose None on the drop-down menu selection. Click Save and click Apply Changes. Now we need to disable IPv6 on the firewall, since we are not going to use it all on our system. On the left menu, click Firewall and click Setting, then click Advance. On Allow IPv6 option, uncheck the selection. Click Save and click Apply Changes. Now, we're going to put the DNS configuration for the whole system. Click System. Click Setting. Click General. Make sure we check the box on Prefer IPv4 over IPv6 option. Type in the DNS server as you desire. In my case, I'm using Google DNS. Make sure uncheck the box of Allow DNS server to be overriding option. Click Save. From the lobby dashboard, click Password at the left menu of the page. Type in the old password, new password as your desire and confirm the new password. Click Save. Let's test it now. Log out, then log in again using new password. From Lobby Dashboard, click the interface at the left menu on the page, then click Assignment. Select the device you want to use. In my case I will use LAN port IGB1 for Wi-Fi network. Next type in the name description of this network for reminder. Click Add to save it. Next we have to enable the Wi-Fi network that we just created. To do that, click Wi-Fi network at the left menu on the page. Then make a checklist on the Enable Interface option and also on the Prevent Interface Removal option. On the IPv4 configuration type, select Static IPv4. On the Static IPv4 configuration type, type in the IP address and the subnet as your desire. Click Save and click Apply Changes. As we can see, the Wi-Fi network interface applied on the interface list. The red color of the icon means that there is no network LAN cable plugged to it yet. Click Services at the left menu on the page, then click ISC-DHCP4 from its drop-down menu. Now click Wi-Fi Network. It's time to enable DHCP server. Checklist the option, Enable DHCP server. Type the range of IP address that DHCP server will provide as you desire. Click Save. Click Firewall at the left menu on the page, and click Rules from its drop-down menu, then click Wi-Fi Networks. As we can see, there is a notice said that no Wi-Fi network rules are currently defined. All incoming connections on this interface will be blocked until you add a pass rule. Exceptions for automatically generated rules may apply. It means that the Wi-Fi network that we just created will not work until we made a rule to pass the internet connection. Click red plus icon to add the passing rules. Make sure Action Pass. Make sure Interface Direction, TCP/IP version, and Protocol option are configured as you can see on the screen. Type the description for reminder as you wish. Make sure the gateway would be default. Click Save and click Apply Changes. Now, it's time for us to plug in the Wi-Fi access point LAN cable to the Wi-Fi networks on LAN 2 port as we planned. At this board page, we can see on the screen that Wi-Fi network interface has green icon, which means that it's active and ready to use. For testing, now I'm going to connect my smartphone to the Wi-Fi access point that we just set it up. Let's check it up. To do that, on the left menu, click Services, click ISC-DHCP4, then click Leases. As we can see on the screen, my smartphone Xiaomi has been already connected to the Wi-Fi networks via Wi-Fi access point. As you can see, there is a "not secure" notification on the page and also the HTTPS not working. We going to configure Let's Encrypt plugin to handle our SSL certificate in order to make HTTPS working on our system. Let's log in to our domain name registrar to make some configuration. In my case, I use Cloudflare as my domain registrar. One of many reasons is that they provide DNS API token key feature for free that we are going to need to generate SSL certificate. As mentioned before, we only use this for local Wi-Fi networks and LAN networks only. We are not going to expose the domain name and SSL to public.
Catatan. Pada tutorial ini kami menempatkan atau membeli domain name pada Cloudflare. Salah satu alasannya adalah untuk mendapatkan fitur gratis, DNS API Token Key. Tidak semua perusahaan domain registrar menyediakan fitur tersebut. Bagi yang terlanjur menggunakan domain registrar lainnya, Anda dapat mentransfer name servernya saja ke Cloudflare secara gratis.
Now, let's open our profile page. Then click API token on the left menu. Click Create. In Edit Zone DNS option, click Use Template. On Zone Resources, we choose Specific Zone, and select the domain name that we're going to use. Click Continue to Summary. Click Create Token. As you can see, the API key is ready. Please keep in mind that you will not be able to see the API key after you close this page. It's better to save those API's keys in a text file and save them on your PC computer. We also need the account ID and zone ID from our Cloudflare account. To get that, click the domain name. Scroll down the page, then copy-paste both account ID and zone ID on the text file. After all, save it on our PC computer. Now we are going to configure SSL certificate for our OPNsense web administrator. First, we need to configure our host and domain name in the system. Click System. Click Setting. Click General. Type in our host name. Type in our domain name. Click Save. Now we going to install plugin for SSL certificate client. Click Firmware. Click Plugin. Choose Acme Client. Click Install icon. Wait until installation complete. These process take quite some times. Click Plugin tab to check. As we can see the Acme client is installed. Now we going to configure the Acme client to serve our free SSL certificate. Click Services on the left menu on the page. It should be showing Acme client menu. If it's not showed up, please refresh the page. In some cases it's need to reboot the OPNsense. Click Acme Client. Then click Accounts. Now, we need to make an account. To do that, click plus icon. Type in the name as your desire. Type in the email address as your desire. Make sure we choose Let's Encrypt on the Acme CA option. Click Save. Now click Challenges Type on the left menu. Click plus icon to create one. Type in the name as your desire. Make sure choosing DNS01 for Challenges Type option. On DNS Service option, choose Cloudflare.com. Then we need to fill in the account ID, API token, and zone ID from our previous text file that we saved before. Click Save. Now we need to create automation to make system automatically reboot after certificate renewal. Click Automations. Click Add. Type in the name as your desire. Make sure we choose Restart OPNsense Web UI at the Run Command option. Click Save. Now we going to issued certificate. To do that, click Certificates. Click Add. Now, type in our host name and domain name. Make sure it's exactly the same with OPNsense system name. Type in the description as your wish. The number 60 indicates that this certificate will automatically renew every 60 days. On Automations option, make sure we choose the one that we created before. Click Save. Now we need to click Issued or Renew Certificate on the right side of the page. If succeed, it will stated OK at the last Acme status. If it's not, that means you have been mistyped the of detail entry somewhere. If it's so, please check on API key, zone ID, account ID, or even fully host domain name. Now we have to enable the Acme client for our system. To do that, click Setting. Check box the Enable plugin option. Click Apply. Let's check our SSL certificate on our system. Click System. Click Trust. Click Certificate. As you can see, our SSL certificate are active. Now we need to configure our system to use the certificate. Click Settings. Click Administration. On SSL certificate option, make sure we change it with the one that we just created. Click Save. Now we need to reboot the OPNsense. Now we can try login on our new OPNsense web address. As you can see, we can access it by typing our domain name. Now let's try to log in again. As you can see, the certificate are valid. Please keep in mind that this address are only accessible from local network. It won't work if you access it from outside of local network. we need to have two authentication server available on our system. The first one is Voucher Authentication Server for hotel guests. The second one is Local Authentication Server for employees. However, we don't need to configure it since it's already installed by OPNsense installation default. Click System. Click Access. Click Servers. As we can see, the Local Authentication Server is already installed by default. Now, we need to add a Voucher Authentication Server. Click Add. Type in the name as your desire. Choose Vouchers on Type option. Checkbox on Use Simple Password option. Type in how many digits as you desire for username. Type in how many digits as you desire for password. Click Save. Now, we have two authentication server available on our system. Click Services on the left menu on the page. Click Captive Portal. Click Administration. Now, we're going to make login page for our Wi-Fi captive portal. Click Add. Make sure Enable option are checked. On Interface option, we checked Wi-Fi network only. We uncheck the LAN, since we don't want login authentication for our LAN network. On Authenticate option, we checked both Local Database, which is for employee, and Wi-Fi Vouchers Hotel, which is for hotel guests. On SSL certificate option, we choose web address with Acme SSL client that we create earlier. On host name, we have to type our host name and domain name exactly the same with our Acme client SSL as listed above. Type in the description as your wish. Click Save. Click Apply. Click System. Click Access. Click Group. Now we need to make a group specifically for employees. Click Add. Type in the group name and the description. Click Save. Click Users. Click Add. Type in the username. Type in the password. Type the full name of the employee that we would like to assign. Type the email of the employee that we would like to assign. Type the comment for our reminder. On Group Memberships, choose the group that we made earlier for employee and click right arrow to assign. Click Save. Now we can see the user is listed as member of the group that we create earlier. Now, let's test it. Let's move to another computer and try to connect to the Wi-Fi network. Let's try to access some website by typing the address. As we can see, it automatically redirects to login page, with our domain address and SSL working as well. Now we're going to try to log in using employee credential that we made before. Login are successful. Now we're going to create Wi-Fi vouchers. There will be two types of the vouchers. One is for resto and bar guests which has 4 hours duration. And the second type vouchers is for room guests which has 24 hours duration. Click Services on the left menu on the page. Click Captive Portal. Click Vouchers. Click Create. On Validity option, choose 4 hours. On Number of Vouchers option, we put 1,000 vouchers. In this case, the vouchers will be in promotional sticker form, which included user and password on it. In order to minimize the cost of sticker printing production, we generate 1,000 vouchers. The management will not bother to print the vouchers quite longer. On Group Name option, we put the name that indicate voucher duration. Click Generate Voucher. After vouchers finish generated, the system will automatically download the CSV file, save it to our computer. The file contain all user and password credential. We will pass this CSV file to the printing company to put it on our stickers. Click Save. Now, let's open our CSV file that we just saved it, so we can see what is the data in it. As we can see, it is contain all of vouchers credential that we just created. Now we going to generate the second vouchers that has 24 hours duration as we planned. Click Create. On Validity Options choose 24 hours. On Number Vouchers option, we going to generate 2,000 pieces of voucher. On Group Name option, we put the name that indicate voucher duration. Click Generate Voucher. Save the CSV file on our computer. As we can see, from this drop-down menu, we have two kind of vouchers. We can select each one to monitor how many vouchers are being used. Now we switch to laptop computer to test the vouchers users and password that we just created. Now, let's open the generated CSV file that we saved earlier with Excel. As we can see, the data is kinda hard to read. Let's make it more easy to read. Click plus icon. Click Data icon. Click From Text or CSV icon. Choose the CSV file that we would like to convert. Click Load. Now, let's test 1. Copy then paste user password and login. As you can see, the voucher's user password are working perfectly.
Okay guys, see you on the next episode. Thanks for watching.